Have you ever thought about taking a break from social media, from Instagram? Have you ever gone on there and just been like, I need to step away, and then find yourself going right back in? Yeah, that was me. Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Coach Jen Winkler. I am a functional board certified health and wellness coach, and I help women find hormonal balance without the ickiness of birth control. We work on it. We help filter through all the noise in the health and wellness space to try and figure out what works for you. So today, what I'm going to be talking about is just a little update. Where have I been? There have been a few people who have texted me and asked, are you okay? Yes, I am okay. I just had this realization. There were many signs telling me I needed to slow down. I needed to take breaks, step away from some things. And I've been learning how to say no to things more often. I don't know about you, but me growing up, I was a people pleaser. I always needed to make sure people were happy with me, that I was doing what makes them happy. I think this probably stems from a rough upbringing. I never really talk about it too much in my channel. Don't know if I will. But like one example with my dad, I had straight A's as a kid. I was a really smart kid. And if I came home with a B+, there wasn't a good job, Jen. Wonderful. I'm so glad you tried your best. It was, why isn't that an A? If I came home with an A-, it was, why wasn't that an A+? So a lot of my life, I have had a lot of people pleasing. The past couple years, I would say at least the last year, I have been working to improve that. I have been working to just create healthy boundaries with things like social media, for example, with other people in my life. I have learned that I don't need to say yes to everything, that saying no can be a good thing. You know, I was talking with Jeff yesterday, my husband, and he asked, it feels like you have a full-time job. I got into this not to have a full-time job, but to have a part-time job. And I asked him what he meant. He's like, you're just always doing something. And I had to think about that. And I realized I am very uncomfortable with being still, with just being. If I have empty space in my calendar, I get very uneasy. I need to fill the space. And I've been like that for a long time. I don't know what it is, but I don't like having free time. So that's why you will see me taking course after course, because I do love learning. It's not like it's exhausting for me. I do love the educational part. I do love offering group coaching and all these things for my clients. But when I sat there and thought about it, when talking to him, I realized it's in the silence where you face your thoughts and your past. It's in the silence where you face your false beliefs. And you have to face the stuff you don't want to face, right? And I think that might be the root underneath there of why I fill up my time so much, that there's just things that I don't want to deal with. And that's how I hide it. That's how I mask it, right? This past, I'd say week and a half-ish, I have completely been off of Instagram. I haven't checked my DMs. I haven't been looking at reels. I haven't posted anything. I haven't done my stories. I think it was a really big help for me to help reset my mindset. I've been in this for 4 years. I've been posting and sharing my story, and then I eventually became a health coach, so I started using it for my business. And in 4 years, I have not taken an intentional break. Even when I went on the low carb cruise last month, I was still sharing. I was still creating content to the best of my ability. But I've never purposely stayed away and not scrolled and not watched other people's stories. And I've wanted to. I've had the desire, but I never did. So I told myself I am doing it for a week at least. And I did. There are so many messages being shared on there. And whether we realize it or not, it really influences our thoughts and our self-belief and our actions. I mean, for example, you hear a different way of eating, like, this person got rid of this food, this person added this food, and then you just get so confused. You're like, I don't know what to do. And then you see Susie all happy and losing 100 pounds, and then you feel crappy, right? I'm obviously exaggerating, but we can't help that whatever goes into our eyes is going to affect the way we think about ourselves and the way we act and the way we hold ourselves. So by abstaining from Instagram for that week, I was able to avoid a lot of the drama, a lot of the dogma. There's a lot of contention that's been in this space, and I caught myself falling into it, and even I just didn't want to get into it. I didn't want to fall into the debates going on. Should I fast? Should I not fast? Like, I pick on this one because it's been happening, but the sardine fasts, right? Like, there's been people doing that, and there's contention in there, and I was catching myself going in there, and I was like, I don't want to go there. My whole goal on my channel is to help bring clarity to the noise. When you hear so many different things going on in this health and wellness space, you're able to come to my channel and learn and educate and make a really educated decision whether it works for you. I've committed to myself to not feed into all the arguments and all those kind of things. I'm done with that. By being off of there, it allowed me to think for myself. It allowed me to use my own reason and understanding without hearing other people's opinions and being like, oh yeah, they're right. It was just a good reset. One of the other things that was really beneficial is, I'm sure you've fallen into this, but when you watch one reel, you just keep watching them. And it's this dopamine hit that's like, every time you see one, you just want to see another one, and it's funny. And then you get hooked into these longer videos. And before I know it, an hour has gone by, and I don't have the time to be scrolling for an hour. I just don't. I'm a mom. I homeschool. My son needs me. I take care of my mom. I have a husband. I have a lot of things to do at home. Okay. So I don't have time to be scrolling on there. So that in itself allowed me time to get this YouTube channel ready, to start preparing it more, to have real discussions with real people in real life, to be there for some of my good friends who really need me right now. It gave me time to do that. And where I didn't feel this pressure of like a deadline coming and I don't have time to finish it. Last week and this week, I have finished everything I need in my coaching business with my clients without that impending doom feeling. Like, gosh, I still have a lot more to do. So it's felt really good to have that freedom. Now, that being said, does that mean I'm leaving Instagram? No, it does not mean I'm leaving Instagram. I will still be on Instagram. Don't worry. I still have stuff to share. I'll still be, sharing my stories, making posts, sharing education. However, I am going to put my focus here on YouTube. This is going to be my main place because on Instagram, let's be honest, stories disappear in 24 hours. So it's very easy to miss things. And then as far as posts go, like if I make a recipe or I share some education, it's a tiny blip. It's either just a small square post or it's a 60-second reel. And it's really hard to get the whole context of everything on there. And then the third thing is when I create it, it's good for, I don't know, maybe a few days at most. And then it just gets put further down my list or further down my profile. And let's be honest, who scrolls down other people's profiles and looks at all their posts, right? You're not going to say, oh, I wonder if they have a post about this. Scroll, scroll, scroll. I want to create a library for my clients, for my followers of information that they can go to, that they trust, and have that resource. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on here. I will definitely be sharing clips from YouTube onto Instagram like everybody else does, right? So yes, I will still be on there. But now, after this reset week, I have felt like I have a healthy boundary with it. We'll see if I can moderate it. We talk about moderators and abstainers a lot in this space. It's the same thing with social media. It's an addiction, just like sugar addiction, just like food addiction. It's really hard to balance the scrolling and to say, I'm only going to do it for this little bit. And I put an app block on my phone, which helped, but I need to get stricter with it, I think. So that's where I'm at now. You will definitely still see me on there, but I will be limiting it. I'm going to try to keep it at a healthy range for myself where there may be a day or two that I'm not on there. So I do appreciate all of you who reached out to make sure everything was okay. It is okay. I do have some things I'm working through right now, but otherwise it's good. I hope this has helped you to be able to think about, is social media or anything on your phone something that you might need to take a break from, that you might need to break up for a little bit, especially if it's something you feel like you can't moderate and that you do need to abstain. It's really hard because a lot of times we feel like we need to be on there. We feel like that's our only way to catch up with the people that we really care about and that we want to keep in touch with. And I'm going to leave you with the story that a friend of mine shared. A lot of times we think everything in our life is a priority. Everything in our life is, we need to be doing this, right? So we have, like, I want you to imagine carrying a bunch of glass and plastic balls, right? You're carrying all these and you feel like, I have to carry these because if I drop them, they'll break because they're mostly glass. What we don't realize is some of those that we think are glass are actually plastic. And if we drop them, they won't break. They won't be in our control for a bit, but they won't break. And we can always pick them up later. What in your life are the glass balls? What in your life are the ones that you cannot let go of? And then what in your life are the ones that are plastic that you can let go of for a little bit? And if you feel like it, picking it up later, you can. I'll give you an example for me. And these are all things of, like, when you have so many of them, it becomes stressful, right? So for me, some of those glass balls are taking care of my family. My son has autism and my mom is legally blind, and I take care of them. It's a lot, but it's not something I can drop and get rid of. Social media, I felt like was a glass ball because it's how I share my work. It's where I find my clients, but it's not. Life does not depend on it. Like, someone's life will not end if I stop for a little bit, right? I stopped for a week and I'm still here and I'm coming back and everything's going to go right back to itself, right? So that's a plastic one. Whether I speak at a conference, I got offered to speak at a conference and I actually declined it because my plate is really full right now and I can't take on anything else. So that was a plastic one. Would it have been a great opportunity? Absolutely. It felt like a glass one because then I can get myself out there more, but in reality, it was a plastic one. So I want to leave you with that. In your life, if you're experiencing any stress, overwhelm, things like that, I challenge you to figure out and to sit and think about and pray about what is the glass balls in your life and what are the plastic ones. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this was beneficial for you, make sure you hit the like button, click the subscribe button so you don't miss the future ones, and I hope to see you here again.